Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next week to 10 days in today's second video. This will take us into the early part of July. So we've been talking about this a lot in videos over the past few days. High pressure is going to be building in next week and it's going to be turning hot. And it's going to be very dry as well. So the hot, dry, or the warm, dry spell that we've had over the past few weeks is going to turn into a hot and dry spell next week. And how long this goes on for is a little bit uncertain. We did have a look at the month ahead with JMA Friday. That's today's first video, which you can find here on the homepage. You just scroll down the page a little bit, you'll find it above the pollen count. So that suggests, certainly for the first week or so of July, it's likely to stay pretty dry and hot. Maybe hints of a change by the middle part of July. That's a really long way off, and it's unreliable. So within sort of the next couple of weeks, we're facing a lot of very dry, very warm, or hot weather as well. I'll bring you up to date with all of the latest computer model runs in a second. But before I go on that, I'm going to say thank you and give a big shout out to our latest donors at Gaz Weather Vids. So we launched the Gaz Weather Vids PayPal page, paypal.me page, and this is it. I'm on the paypal.me page for Gaz Weather Vids right now. There's also the Patreon page, which I'll show you in a second, and we are going to leave the link to both of these pages in the description box at YouTube, and we also have the links to these pages at Gaz Weather Vids as well. So, if you give us a donation and you would like to have a mention, then we will give you a shout out and say thank you very much for donating. So, our latest donors to Gaz Weather Vids are Mark Cunliffe. So, big thank you to Mark, and also Andrew Barker. Big thank you to Andrew for becoming a Gaz Weather Vids donor. And also to Bernard Hamill. Big thank you to Bernard for becoming a donor for Gaz Weather Vids. And as I say, you can give your donations via the PayPal page. There's also the Patreon page. You can become a patron for Gaz Weather Vids on this page. So this one, you give a monthly donation, although you can cancel it at any time. But you give a monthly donation. It can be anything as less as $1 a month, and so that's like an ongoing sort of patronage, if you like. And then there's also the other option, which is to give a one-off donation through PayPal. Big thank you to all of our donors and patrons. It's blown me away, really, the generosity that you show to Gaz Weather Vids, you show to us. So just a huge thank you to all of the donors and the patrons for giving these donations to us, and it's helping to pay the website, helping us to stay online and to keep all of the content completely free. That's going to be, it's not going to be changing, so we're going to keep all of the content, all the videos, all of the written posts, Terry Scully's posts, everything else is going to stay totally free at the point where you want it, and when you want to get it, you will be able to do that whenever you like. So this is just a way of helping us to fund all of the operations at Gaz Weather Vids. And big thank you, big thumbs up to all of you. Right, let's get on with today's video, or second video. So I'm going to start off with GFS temperature precipitation ensembles. We're looking at Maidstone in Kent today. The red line here is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Maidstone. And we're starting off a little bit cooler than average with the upper air temperatures at the moment. But these temperatures will recover over the next few days. As you can see, we are on very much an upwards trend with the upper air temperature. So by the time we get through to next week, in the start of July, those temperatures are substantially, significantly hotter than average, around 15 Celsius at 850 HPA. That's proper heat wave type territory. Further into July, this period just here, we are seeing signs that the temperatures are sliding back, but it's a really long way off. It's certainly not definitive because there's a huge amount of scatter, and just so far away that you wouldn't give out any sort of reliability, you wouldn't place any reliability into that. It may well cool down as we go further through the first week of July, but it's too far out. It's in the unreliable time frame of the model and its ensembles to have any sort of confidence in it. And very dry weather as well. No precipitation spikes whatsoever through the rest of June here for Maidstone. So the first sort of first precipitation spikes, not many of them, but the first precipitation spikes begin in the opening days of July, and then they do increase as we go through this first week of July, probably courtesy of thunderstorms, I would have thought, mainly. But again, it's so far out, and that's so far in the unreliable time frame, that you just have to question how reliable that is. What we can say about is that within the next week to 10 days, certainly going to be lots and lots of dry weather. Service temperatures for Maidstone. Now, remember, Maidstone is not that far away from the coast, so it is impacted a little bit by cooler air coming off the north, so it can be in some situations. So, probably lower than if we're talking an ensemble for London, but nevertheless, you still get this warming trend through next week. So, by the middle of next week, we're going into the mid-20s Celsius at Maidstone. So if you think you go further inland, let's say going centre of London, you would anticipate you're probably seeing temperatures going up to there, up to 30 degrees. After that, we do see a bit of a drop down in the temperature, but still staying warm, still staying at or above 20 degrees Celsius. And again, just very, very dry with the precipitation. Temperature anomalies for the next week from 22nd of June to 30th of, from 22nd through to the 30th of June are coming out warmer than average for the UK and Ireland, also for Scandinavia and Spain and Portugal as well. And look at that precipitation anomalies, very, very dry indeed from the 22nd through to the 30th of June, substantially drier than average, with less than 5% of average for a large part of the UK and also down to France as well. So obviously the prolonged dry spell that we've now been in across England and Wales anyway is set to continue, and not surprising when you see high pressure at 1025 millibars sitting over the top of the UK like that. Obviously it's going to be mainly dry in that kind of situation, and that's how we go into the middle part of next week with the high pressure very slowly, gradually just drifting a little bit to the east. And so we're pulling in these hot southeasterly winds. They're wafting up across the country. That could easily be lifting temperatures into the mid to upper 20s Celsius across southern parts of the country anyway through the middle part of next week. And those hot southeasterly winds then continue through the rest of next week. That's Friday, for example, where we've got the high pressure again. It's ridging from the Azores and going up towards Scandinavia. And so the upshot of that would be that we have loads of dry and very warm weather as well. The air is pulling in from a southeasterly type direction, and temperatures would be hot, could easily achieve upper 20s Celsius. I wouldn't rule out 30 degrees in that situation. And it just goes on up to day 10 as well. The high pressure vest continues, no change to Monday, the 2nd of July, with loads of high pressure, probably bags of sunshine coming through as well across many parts of the country. We go through to the ECMWF and we can see that again high pressure is dominating the weather through most parts of the country. So again, 1025 millibars, that would give us lots of warm, dry conditions, and that's how we go into Tuesday and on into Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. It just continues and goes on and on and on. The high pressure is sat there, not moving anywhere. It's nothing is pushing through. There's no jet stream, there's no low pressure to move that high pressure on. So it's just a prolonged spell of dry and hot weather that we have through next week. These are really classic charts. We probably haven't seen summer high summer charts like this since at least July 2013. Talking of July, that's the first day of July with perhaps a thundery low starting to develop down towards Biscay, and that does get a little bit close towards the south of England as we go through to day 10, which is Monday, the 2nd of July. And then finally, the GEM, that rounds it all up. High pressure is dominating the weather at the start of next week, and as we go through next week, high pressure goes nowhere fast. So that's Friday with high pressure centred over the top of the UK. It's going nowhere fast, so it will be very warm, if not hot, and dry and sunny, pretty much all parts of the country. And then on to the towards day 10, the extended range just turns a little bit cooler in the north, and start to get slightly more of a northeasterly influence coming around the top of this high pressure. But essentially, it is still the high pressure that's in control, so there's certainly no rain with that. It's just temperatures might be very slightly lowering, particularly for the north. So just to sum up how dry it's going to be, this is the 10-day accumulated precipitation forecast chart from the 6 o'clock run of the GFS, from the run I was just showing you. Takes us to day 10, which is into the start of July. And look at that. Basically, for England and Wales, there's no rain to come in the next 10 days, with sort of 0 millimetres across most parts of England and Wales. Further north, a little bit more. Southwest Scotland has 14 or 15 millimetres. I suspect that's some sort of thunderstorm that the model is picking up on. A little bit more across parts of Ireland too, but essentially that's a really, really dry 10 days coming up for many parts of the country, and perhaps a little bit alarmingly so, because as I say, it has been very dry through this month so far, and this prolonged dry spell is going to continue into the start of July, most definitely. So, there's not a huge amount going on, other than high pressure is going to be in control from start to finish. From today, high pressure in control today. It'll still be in control in 10 days' time. And that's going to bring us lots of not only dry, but also very warm and increasingly hot weather too. So, well, you better get ready. It's going to be a very warm and dry spell indeed. Tomorrow we've got weekend forecast, where we will talk about all of this in depth with the weekend forecast. So come back to that. We'll also have a look at ENSO tomorrow as well, see what's happening in the Equator Pacific Ocean. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching.